Hey guys, so I made a video out of a live stream yesterday that was covering all the good news that's coming out recently about Daggerheart. It really feels like they're building up to some big reveal, like they've got the marketing gears turning. There's just a lot of Daggerheart stuff happening right now. I pretty much go through it all, but just as I finished editing it, we got some new major Daggerheart news, which is that during a panel at Luca Comics and Games 2025, Matthew Mercer has said they've got some really cool announcements coming up at PAX Unplugged, which is going to be November 21st. So pretty damn soon. Last time they did something like this was for Gen Con, and they ended up revealing a bunch of really cool partnership and plans and collaborations. It was genuinely very exciting to be a Daggerheart fan. So I don't mean to get anyone's hopes up for this, but I think we could be in for a pretty big announcement this time too. Potentially some kind of book reveal and hopefully release date, though we'll have to see. And before we get into the main video where I just go through all the good Daggerheart stuff, yesterday I released a video where I was talking about some bad Daggerheart stuff. Mainly the Heroforge Daggerheart partnership, which I don't really like that much. And if you don't want to hear about it anymore, you can just skip ahead like 30 seconds, but pretty much to make a Daggerheart mini on Heroforge, you need to pay $8 just for the assets, just to get in there and play around. And I talked about it in length in my video yesterday, but people did not like that in the comments. As in, people didn't like me speaking up about it. Now, obviously, Heroforge has a very passionate fan base, and so does Daggerheart, and I don't think they like hearing me say bad things about those companies. I'm not saying bad things about those companies. I also had some people who just didn't see a problem with it. It's just business, but there's also no problem with me complaining either. But I don't think people really even watched that video, so I want to just summarize my thoughts on it. Normally, the way Heroforge works, which is the way I like, is that I can go into it and create a mini digitally, almost like trying clothes on in a shop. And if I like the way it looks, if I like those clothes, I can buy them for like $40, and that's just a good transaction in my mind. Now, if it's a Daggerheart mini I want to make, it's annoying that I do just have to pay $8 more than I would have to pay for a D&D mini, because that's what it costs to access the Daggerheart assets. But it's also that I can't even go in and play around with it to see if I would like the look of the mini I create before I buy it. It's like if I went into a clothes store and they had a section of a certain brand and I couldn't even enter that section to see the clothes and try them on without paying an entrance fee. So I just want to address the claims that I'm overreacting, or I don't understand business, or that I'm just making videos to get clicks and it's rage bait. Yes, I am making videos to get clicks, okay? I profit from it. But in this scenario, also, I don't like that it's more expensive to be a Daggerheart mini buyer than a D&D mini buyer on Heroforge. And I don't like that they're setting it up like they're doing the Daggerheart community a huge favor by calling it a love letter to us. That's it. I don't think that Heroforge are a bad company or that Daggerheart are a bad company. I love them both. I just don't like this direction that they're taking Daggerheart minis in. I don't like the idea of it for the future. I don't like the precedence it sets. They can still do it. I just won't use Heroforge anymore. Certainly not for Daggerheart minis. But I think in the grand scheme of things, this is something worth kind of giving feedback about. And there's a plethora of other reasons why people don't like this whole thing. The biggest one being that people are subscribed to Heroforge and they don't get access to this free stuff. I have heard that subscribers get credits that they can spend on things, and so they can spend credits on this Daggerheart stuff. But I don't know. It's a weird decision that took the community off guard, I think. And don't feel bad if you feel like you're being taken advantage of in some way. Like, complain about it. Don't be put down by people who are just people who were never going to buy the Daggerheart minis in the first place. Also, in this video, I talk about the Drakkenheim Daggerheart Kickstarter, which I'm really excited about and is looking pretty good. But one thing I did not realize is that they actually have a campaign theme for this campaign on their Kickstarter that anyone can download for free. They're actually asking for feedback about it, but it's pretty damn cool. I'm not going to go through this now. Maybe I'll do it on a live stream, but it's definitely for a little free beta thing. You get a ton of content here. I think it's 30 pages, and a lot of it you can take and you can use in your games now. So yeah, it's something I didn't talk about, and it's something that if you're into this kind of thing, definitely check out. Other than that, here's the original video. Thanks for tuning in. Also, my Heroforge drama video lost me 15 subscribers, so subscribe. Okay, on to good news. There's actually been a lot of Daggerheart related stuff coming out. I feel like the past few weeks, it feels like they're building to something. They're actively setting those marketing gears in motion, because I feel like we had like a stint there with Critical Role Campaign 4 coming out, where we had very little Daggerheart stuff, and now it's like being turned back up to 11, which is very good for us. The first thing I want to talk about is the release of the Bloodhunter class on the Void, already at 1.5. This is really big for a few reasons. One, because it's like a favorite class that a lot of people who play D&D wanted here, and now we have it. And it's something kind of like very unique in the fact that it's the first class to have 3 subclasses. You get Order of the Ghost Slayer, Order of the Mutant, and Order of the Lycan, which is kind of like a kind of supernatural version of it, a kind of The Witcher version, and a kind of werewolf version. So it's really cool. And with the release of this, we have that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 subclasses, like 11 new subclasses floating around the Void that could easily go into a book. Like, it feels like they're building up on something here. We also have, the new ancestries that came out and the transformation cards. So, and the new adversaries and environments. So I feel like with all this, with some flavor text, you've got a book. They have come out and said aggressively that stuff that goes on the Void does not mean A, it's ever going to get released. B, it's going to get released anywhere near like what it is now. And C, it's not going to get released soon. There's no like guarantee. So it could be that we don't see this stuff for a while. That is worth noting. But it is exciting to be like, oh, I have like, a whole new core rulebook full of stuff on here that I can play with. Maybe not core rulebook, but a lot of stuff. Also in other news, we've had a bunch of new actual plays. We have Legends of Avantris doing their 3-part Daggerheart mini campaign. I watched like the first 25 minutes of it. I liked it. I'm definitely going to finish watching it. These guys are great and it's doing well. This was a live stream and it got 61,000 views, streamed 19 hours ago. So I'm pretty happy with that. We also have the Dispatch one-shot, which came out, tied into the Dispatch game that came out that a lot of Critical Role worked on. I think they even like co-created it. This has 115,000 views in less than a day. It's doing very well. Now this was instead of the Campaign 4 episode, so I guess it would draw a lot of numbers. But I watched, I was watching the start of this as well. Also, seems to be very, very good. Really like unique in the way it's been made. Also, it's Daggerheart not in a fantasy setting, which is really nice to see. It's in a modern day superhero setting, showing off Daggerheart being used in other genres. And I said this when they first announced Dispatch. I don't see any reason why they could not release a Dispatch Daggerheart book, which will be their take on the superhero genre, which is popular in TTRPGs. So this pure hearsay, but I would like to see, and wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Dispatch official TTRPG using Daggerheart. Oh yes, we also had a surprise question and answer with the devs of Darrington Press. This was like 2 weeks ago or 10 days ago. I wanted to make a video about it there because it was interesting. They talked about the Pantheon of Daggerheart, which I am desperate to know more about. And they kind of extended what is in the core rulebook. The core rulebook talks about the core realms, which is like the mortal realm in the middle, the hallows above, which is like heavens, the circles below, which is like the hells, and the realms beyond, which is like, if we were going to compare it to D&D, it would be like the abyss and the far realm and just anything else that's not like connected to these main ones, like very far out. But they also expanded on the fact that there are the forgotten gods, the old gods, and the new gods, right? Old gods seem to be there from the beginning, and the new gods came in, we don't know how, and there was a big fight, and the old gods lost, and they got forced down to the circles below. So the old gods are kind of like, maybe not evil, but like they're like the infernal demon-esque gods, and the new gods are like, the heavens gods. But all these gods have what are known as faint divinities beneath them. Kind of like, I don't want to say demigods, because demigods are something different, but they are half gods almost, just like weaker gods or very powerful beings. In the hallows above, they're kind of like angels, and in the circles below, they are devils, fundamentally. They can be of anything. They can be so minimalistic. Like, they could be like the god of glasses would be a faint divinity, which is really cool. The other thing they talked about in this live stream is the fact that they don't have a GM screen yet. They got asked a question, when are we going to get a GM screen? And the answer was they are working on it. So expect news about that hopefully soon so that we can buy a GM screen. They have GM screens. I've got one I got with my limited edition one. It's good. It's not the best, I don't think. And I think they know that. Like, the information on there is not the best. I've had to like fill it with post-it notes telling me different information. So hopefully they work on something that is really useful to GMs in-game, and we get to see that soon. Also, in other news, they released a new Daggerheart folio. I think this looks really cool. It's something that my players use a lot. We don't use this particular one because it's sold out already, just showing how popular Daggerheart is. But I have like these plastic sheets that my players put the cards in because they don't like holding them. I don't know if you guys who have played it feel the same way, but they prefer just seeing it on like a piece of paper almost. So having it in a folio like this is perfect, and it's got room for your couch sheet as well, which is really, really cool. This is something I'm buying as soon as it becomes available for me to buy, and I'll do a video on it as well. I'll do a video on a bunch of Daggerheart accessories that we can get now, but I'm pretty damn excited about this. Then we have a bunch of Kickstarters that are coming out as well. This is actually bigger news. So Dungeon Dudes created a D&D book called Dungeons of Drakkenheim, which seems to have been really, really popular. And now they are making a Daggerheart version of it. They have blown past their goal of $28,000 and are currently set at $164 with 24 days to go. This is a huge success for both them, I think, and Daggerheart, because people want Daggerheart content. Also, the class packs that Darrington Press have created have also done pretty well, $400,000. Now, I want to learn about Kickstarter. I want to do a video where I deep dive into Kickstarter because I know the goal that people say here is not normally the actual goal they need. It's a much lower goal because they want to hit their goal early. So they like lower the goal. But this is not a small amount of money to be scoffed at. I would love to know how much is left after they, produce the things and ship them out, and like how much revenue it generates. I have no idea. But I would say this is also a huge Daggerheart success. Also on DriveThruRPG, most popular under $5 is still my Daggerheart book that I wrote. Maybe not book, but adventure. And also, I'm still in the hottest small publishers list, which is crazy. So thank you everyone who bought that. Genuinely, thank you everyone who bought that. I can't believe I'm on the homepage of DriveThruRPG like multiple times. It is actually crazy. And the video I made documenting me making that and publishing it and stuff was one of my favorite videos I've made in a very long time. But Daggerheart's still #1 hottest small publisher, which is great. I think this might be where we're hitting issues though. I don't think Daggerheart is, I don't know how they determine what a small publisher is anymore, but I wonder if Daggerheart deserves to be a small publisher anymore, or if it's a mid-sized publisher, because it's definitely grown a lot over the past couple of months, and I feel like Darrington Press are hitting those growing pains, which is why we ran into the Heroforge issue. In general, fans are blaming Critical Role for Heroforge's first ever paid collaboration.